Time is now.
Sweet.
How you feeling?
I feel great.
Feel good, man? You had a long drive getting up here.
So, it's all right.
Dude, it's all right. You went straight to the bathroom. That was, that was a long ride.
Yeah, well, I had to go before I left.
Oh, you did want to. I do that too, though.
But, what happened was, in my town, the snow was getting kind of bad.
Really?
Yeah, so I pulled up to the gas station, and I didn't even see that it said out of order.
Oh, no.
And I told you I was running late already.
Yeah.
So they were like, I was like, I get 20 on that pump. And they were like, not on that one. Like, you're going to have to go to another one. And I looked around and they were all full. And I'm like,
Dang.
I'll wait.
So you just booked it. You're like, all right, I'm out of here. Not a thing. That's tough.
So I had to run out and back in. And I was like, dang, I kind of need to use the bathroom. I was like, whatever. I'll make it.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Like with anything, like if I'm at work and I just have tons of stuff to do, I'm like, bathroom? What's a bathroom? I don't know. I just keep working. And then I'm like, I'm such an idiot. I just need to, I know it sounds weird. Like, I just need to go to the bathroom and stop waiting. I'm going to have like issues when I get older, but whatever. We're here now. It is what it is. What's going on, y'all? My name is Jay Faith, and this is the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast, where we sit down, make connections through conversations, hopefully inspire others in whatever it is they are doing in their lives, in their passions, in their careers. I want to say God bless. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking this out. This is a MOCG media production right here at 41st Studios. I appreciate them for allowing us to be here. We got episode 45 queued up for you right here with my man, Vincent Tesoro. What's going on, man?
What's up? What's up?
I know it's been a while. It's been a couple months since I've like actually seen you in person, I think. Right? Probably recording the project.
Yeah,
It's probably the last time.
4 months or so.
Really? It's only been 4 months? It
It's
feels
been
so
longer than
much
that.
longer.
I have no idea what
Feels
month
so
we recorded that in.
much longer because I saw a post the other day and it was from a year ago for a song that I recorded on my album, and I had my bishop was there and he was adding on to the album, and I was like, dude, this was literally a year ago. It literally felt like it was like 2 months ago.
I know, time's flying by. I have no track of it right now.
I don't either. Like, time is going by. Like, I've seen, not to get dark and dreary, like so many close people that I've known have like passed away. Like, it's like constantly like somebody, heart attack, this, that. I'm like, dude, can y'all just like chill for a second? Can y'all just be here, please? Like, I can't take any more of this stuff.
I think we all go through a season of that.
Yeah, for sure. It just sucks when you do have to go through it.
Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, my grandparents passed away when I was young. My family's pretty healthy, and the people that I know that died to addiction and stuff like that weren't really my close friends. So I've only been affected by death to some degree.
Some degree, yeah.
But enough that I'm prepared for it.
Right.
And that I accept it. I know it's a way of life.
Right.
I'm even grateful that, people are gone into a better place.
Right. And that's the perspective I had to take. Not to start the podcast off with dark and dreary and everything like that, but I think just appreciating the fact that we are here. We do have the people that we love around us, and just grateful to be here at the end of the day. I just try to wake up, thank God every single day. And just get
Still
up here
alive.
and just be here.
Cheers, liquid death.
Cheers, liquid death to that. Liquid death. We're glad to be alive. Thank you. Appreciate that. So what's been going on with you, man? I know. Well, I know in part what's been going on with you. I'm just talking about the album, but what else has been going on with you, man?
It's been a long year of recording music, writing music.
Dang, 3 weeks? You just been killing it this whole year.
I'm
just kidding.
I was flipping back to last year.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, engagement was great. Got married, went on a honeymoon.
Congrats.
Been on cloud nine, really.
Word.
And finally been able to get centered, to have some time to really put things in order.
Mm-hmm.
For once, I just felt like it's been an uphill battle for the past couple years.
Facts. I feel you on that.
I'm not great with organization.
I feel you on that.
And even though my wife was planning most of the wedding, just the little things that I was in charge of, and the unknown of what needs to be done and what
Right.
needs to be paid for, which she kind of swept under the rug because she didn't want me to worry about it,
Yeah.
just made things difficult for me. I'm not built like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm glad that part's over. We had an amazing experience,
For sure.
and I'm ready to kick it up a notch and take this music thing serious.
Yeah. Now's the marriage. Now's the marriage. Like, you got through the wedding. Now's the marriage. That's always the fun part.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about that. Like, I was reviewing some of the pictures that we took, and I'm like, wow, yesterday was great. I consider the past yesterday,
Yeah.
Yesterday was great, and I can only imagine what tomorrow is going to be like.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy today.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. And just appreciate the little moments that we get. As we were just saying, like, people come and go, unfortunately. So we just got to appreciate everything. So what's the deal with the music? What's going on? What's coming for music? What do you got coming up?
I'm planning on hopefully improving overall engagement
Okay.
with my social media platforms that I really haven't been taken too serious. I mean, I only released 2 songs last year,
Oh, wow.
but I built a whole catalog worth of songs in that
Right.
time. So my socials have definitely been downplayed in the past year or so. So I'm really working on building those accounts up. And I just released a EP, Too Close for Comfort.
Yep.
And I plan on releasing probably an EP every couple months
Okay.
for the rest of the year.
You got enough stocked up, like you said, just
Yeah.
ready to go.
I mean, I have my next project ready to go.
Nice.
And recording
This guy's ready.
the following one this weekend.
There you go.
You could have been there, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember you saying now. Okay.
But family's
Dang.
important.
Yeah. I just saw her. Not to sound messed up, there was a reason for it. So we've had this plan for like 2 months, but I just saw her like 3 weeks ago because I actually had to fly out her way for my brother. But yeah, so she's finally coming back over here. We'll get some time. We'll spend some time in like Boston, do all that stuff because she hasn't really been. I think the last time she was on the East Coast was like maybe 8 years ago, something like that. She was stationed in Maryland, and then she came up for like a couple days, like 8 years ago. So it's been a minute. So yeah, family. Yeah, I'm excited. She actually flies in tonight, so I gotta do this whole thing. I say it loosely. This whole thing, and then go home, kind of clean up a little bit. Her flight lands at like midnight. So I'm going to go scoop her up from the airport and try to get everything done before she gets here. And then, of course, she decided to plan something at 9 o'clock in the morning for all of us to do. So we're going to go home, going to pick her up at midnight, probably get home maybe 1:30, and then probably not sleep because just talking. And she's going to be on West Coast time, so she's not going to be able to go to bed. And then we're going to have to get up nice and early and head out up to Nashua too. So, which is, I mean, from where we are, maybe 20 minutes or so up there. So it's going to be interesting, but I've done worse, so I can't complain.
Yeah, so I'm working with Bobby Snare.
Okay, dope.
Me and Bobby have a project, just us
Dang,
two.
y'all kept that low key for sure.
Yeah.
What the heck?
This is the exclusive.
Okay.
I'm giving you the exclusive.
Dang, you kept that low key. Because, like, Bobby Snare, like comments on everything that I do and everything. Shout out to Bobby Snare, MOCG. Always comments on stuff, always liking stuff, just chatting it up or whatever. And dang, kept that one under wraps for a minute.
Yeah, he performed.
That's dope, though. I'm glad that he's back.
Yeah, you were there. He performed at my release party. B Snare and Etheric, and they've always been incredibly supportive to me. I forget exactly how it started, but I think I just wanted him to do some guitar for one of the songs I was working on.
Understandably so.
I got a beat from Gold's House. So this project is produced by Gold's House. He's a super dope producer, and it started with him just laying some guitar for one song, and it just exploded from there. I would
Really?
say we just got super excited about it and was like, why don't we just stretch it out a little bit more?
Makes sense. If it works, like you can only imagine like what you could do over like multiple songs.
Yeah, especially based on his situation, the timing of it
Right.
was just it was just so incredible.
Yeah, probably good therapy and everything, especially everything that he's been through, and I'm sure he's glad to be back in the swing of things, especially musically. Again, based on the circumstances. So I'm glad to see that he's like back making music and
Yeah,
staying involved and stuff.
yeah, he's been super inspired and motivated through this experience, and we're going up to see Just for Kicks this weekend.
Oh,
Record
word.
with him.
So you're back. Oh, that's yeah.
Because I figured, we were sending stuff back and forth.
Yeah.
And the first song that we already worked on, there was some issues with the files and stuff. So
Oh
I
man,
was like, let's make this an experience. So I booked the whole day
just to get up there. And,
record. I'm pretty sure he's still gonna send like his guitar track, so we save time because he's able to record himself.
word makes it easier.
But yeah, so we just work on the vocals, any added guitar,
Yeah.
backups, and we're just gonna have a great time.
Nice. Dang. Why can my niece come like next week? No, I'm just kidding.
That honestly, for my niche, is some of my favorite songs that I've
Nice.
ever recorded.
That's dope. I always love that stuff. Especially when it's like out the blue. I feel like that's when like the best stuff comes. It's like the stuff that is out the blue. It's not something that you have planned. It's not something that like you've been strategizing for months and years. You're just like, hey, let's just try something. And then it's like, bam, like this is dope as hell.
Yeah, and it was a spiritual occasion. I
Dope.
felt based on circumstances.
Amen.
Like I said, like I'm gonna let him tell his story. But our friendship has evolved through this experience, and I feel we've also, learned more about each other musically and just as a person. We've been teaching each other. I ask him about meditation techniques and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
He's been helping me. I've been helping him. We just keep each other encouraged, and we're using your engineer.
Dope. So which one? So Just for Cakes is gonna record you guys? Or
He's gonna record us, and
Okay.
we're gonna send it to Mikey.
oh, send it to Mikey. Yeah. Dope. Yeah, Mikey. Shout out to Mikey, another dope dude. Yeah, I'm excited to it. I'm like gripping at the table here, like waiting for this final track to come through. Because then it's just putting everything finally together.
I know. I wish Derek was here right now.
I know,
Shout
dude.
out D-Rock.
Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy because when did we start this thing? Like, because we didn't get D-Rock in the studio until like 4 months ago. And then we had already hit the studio, we had already done a studio session in my house. What, like 2 months prior to that?
If not longer.
It has to have been like
We
over
were
a
on
year.
hold for about 6 months.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, I look back and I'm like, man, like I feel like it didn't need to take that long.
Well, you won.
In a sense.
You won the beats from Anno Domini.
Yeah.
On the last round, not the most recent round.
Yeah, that's true.
And then J Faith came in first place this year. Got some more beats.
Yeah.
So I know he's gonna be sharing.
Dude,
something with me.
I have so
He has so many beats.
Shout out to Anno Domini though, like it's dope, dude. Like I got 20 I don't know if I told you. So I got, not to brag, shout out to Anno Domini. I just appreciate the opportunity. So I got 20 exclusives. So just like tracked out everything, anyone that I want to choose from, kind of like what I did last time with the 5.
Yeah.
And then they sent me 100 beat, like one of their like rap packs.
Yeah.
And then put me back onto the Inner Circle, which is just like, it's just like a platform you can connect with other artists, anybody else that has signed up. But they send you like 25 beats a month, and I have a year membership. And I've already had that. I had that membership before for 2 years. So 25 times 24, and then now to add on to that, number of beats.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to do. It's crazy. So
It's not all gonna get used.
nah,
but at
but
least you have plenty to
got it
pick
at
from.
disposal.
You know.
Everybody's like, why do you always use Inodomini? I'm like, I don't think you understand.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like,
it keeps feeding me.
it keeps feeding me. I don't have to pay for a producer. It's there. Yeah, some of them are just the beat itself, but when you can do what you can do with it, like, by all means, like, use it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
he supplied our record, which we definitely should be telling the people about. I feel.
yeah, I think it's time now. I think it's safe to say this, man. I mean, we still got some. We got to figure out. I think we got to figure out a title, or are we rocking with what we're rocking? Do you think it'll be Break the Fall, or do you think? I feel like it's got to be something bigger. I feel like there's got to be like an overall theme to it. That's just me.
I kind of agree. That's why I was saying not having that title track as the first single, because I feel that then there's nothing to hope for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, for the listener.
Right. I get what you're saying.
It's like
yeah.
kind of like selling them short.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we got Break the Fall single and the album. Oh, well, I just heard the single, so I think that's enough for me. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll catch y'all later. It's only 5 songs. Thanks. But a lot of work went into that, all right? Damn it.
Exactly.
Appreciate it. Jeez, I don't think people understand what went into that.
Yeah, but that'll come together once we get the final mixes,
Yeah.
masters. I feel like that'll come together. So I've been jumping back and forth between doing pop punk, alternative, and hip hop. So in a couple months, I'll be releasing more of a hip hop style EP, and I know we have a song that we're gonna release.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
And then the collaboration EP, and then the one with Bobby.
Dude, so you got plenty of stuff.
Nah, I got some
in the
more
chamber.
stuff, but I'm not ready to talk about it.
Yeah, same. I know. I've been trying to get not to sound messed up. I've been trying to get a lot of this stuff done because I have so much other things planned in the works. Yeah. I've got a collab project, like a multi-people collab project. I've got the follow-up to the album coming up, which I'm an idiot for even trying to start, but it just fell in my lap. MoFlo collab project. What else do I have? 41st Ave Part 2 with L.Y.F.E.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, nice. We officially made that. We're just getting in the process of it, but we have all the beats and stuff. So that's coming along the way. And then obviously here at the podcast, we're here. So it never ends, but just being able to get some of those things off the plate, just like kind of how you were saying with like, getting the wedding done, getting all that stuff done. Now you can kind of like recenter yourself. And I definitely agree with you. Social media is always like my second to last thing as far as like what I focus on, which is bad because the last thing that I focus on is like the business side of things. So like whether it's like submitting music to stations to, like BMI to so you can like when you do sets, like when you perform, so you can like get the royalties for that, like all those little things, like which is bad because that's what we need to do to get the music out there, and I do like the least amount of work for it, and it sucks. So that's like my focus too.
Yeah, it sucks for us too because you're the one that's submitting all the music for us.
Oh, great. Here we go. Okay, so if this thing flops, we all know where this is going. Right here. This guy right here. Appreciate it. No, I'm just kidding. No, and we'll definitely have that conversation too. Just figure out how we can get this out.
Yeah, it can be off the air.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I'm not. Y'all don't need to worry about the little details. Just know that it's coming. You're going to enjoy it. I'm super excited for it. I had so much fun like messing around with those beats.
And hold on, I feel like
Okay,
we've been
here we
very
go.
vague. Like,
We're like, we're gonna tell them, but then we're just gonna be super vague and just not say anything. So
yeah. So J Faith, myself, Vincent Tesoro, for those that don't know, and our buddy D Rock are working on an EP, a collaborative EP together that's coming out this year.
definitely 5-song EP. Definitely some of my best work to date. That'll be releasing minus my album. Sorry. But yeah, I'm super excited. I had so much fun like messing around with the beats and stuff. Like especially what was it? I think it was when the pendulum swings where it like drops in and out for your song.
Some of my favorite choruses that I've done.
Yeah. Yeah, those choruses are fire. Y'all are not ready for this. I don't think y'all understand. I'm super excited for this too. I'm just excited for new music. For me, I kind of like, I mean, no, it's not the same because I did drop a lot of music, like more singles. I didn't drop a full project. And I'm like, oh, like you kind of understand, but like you dropped 2. So it's like, I know you're like thirsty for like dropping music, but I'm like, oh, like I just can't wait to drop music. Because like to me, it was like, I was like, oh, I had such like a light year, such a slow year for dropping music.
Yeah, my thing was basically I had this recent EP ready right around the time of my bachelor party.
Okay.
And that was only 3 weeks before the wedding. And I know how I get when a project drops.
Right.
My mindset changes and that focus changes.
Right. Because your time, your mind is going to be just occupied with other things. You're not going to be able to give it its full attention. And that's what we had talked about too with our thing. And we were like, if it's going to fall around, when you were getting married, we're just like, maybe we should just like either wait or release it sooner. And obviously we chose the latter.
Luckily, we were slackers, so
Yeah.
pushed way back. But.
So procrastination actually does help you. So if you really want the true key to success, procrastination is where it's at because it will help you. It'll push things off into the right timing.
Yeah, and that was part of the reason that I had a light year as well, because in actuality, I thought we would have been done.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I did.
But at the end of the day, we all live far away from each other.
That too.
You know what I mean?
That was
It
definitely
is
hard to get
difficult.
in the studio and stuff. But I mean, I feel like it was a good setup because now, I mean, I even look at it from what I have coming out, releasing, and just what you were just saying just a few minutes ago is now we just have just constant things that we can just piggyback off of instead of maybe the scattered, maybe a little bit, we can have that continuous thing and just ride along that. And this way, like you said, like now that you have the music done and like it's just more like the background stuff, now you can start focusing on those other things like the social media and maybe the business side of things, whatever other things that you need to work on. You can give more attention to that because you're like, I don't have to worry about creating music, it's already there. I can just focus on the stuff that I need to. So
yeah, and I have
kinda
a lot
worked
of
out.
music out, and I'm finding ways to, possibly just market it over again.
Yeah.
With a different plan.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about that. Sometimes we miss it on the first try.
Facts.
But you bring somebody that knows what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and they can take an old picture, an old video, and turn it into something new.
Right. Just remix it and it in theory, not like literally remix the song, but in theory, and then it just turns into something completely different for sure. Excuse me. Yeah, I see a lot of people that are like, even with some of their old stuff, like, getting into like the social media kind of thing, they're, doing reels, like, and just like covers of their songs and like kind of like reintroducing it to people. Cause I feel like you need to do that too, just because you start getting newer followers and maybe they're just not like caught up on like some of your older stuff that they could probably like rock to. Like they just seeing like what, was in the last like,
What are you doing
4 rows of your
exactly.
Instagram. Most people aren't like,
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see what they did January 21st of 2020. Yeah, perfect. Like they're just like, 4th row, okay, done. If you get that lucky, most of the time they're just in what they see in their feed. So,
Absolutely.
So this way, it just kind of brings stuff up. I've been trying to do some things like that. Obviously, you've seen like, a couple reels that I've been doing, stuff like that. But it doesn't hurt. I mean, it just kind of continues to bring people's catalogs, bring them out. You see, I know like Blink-182, like I see Travis Barker doing stuff all the time, like even their classic stuff, and people still rock with it. So it's like you're not hurting anybody, going that route.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it more of taking your own greatest hits that you're still gonna perform,
Right.
and fan favorites, and just kind of reworking them in a new way, depending on where you're planning on taking your career moving forward.
Right.
You're able to spin it in a different way. I find myself growing as an artist in a way where I'm embracing who I am, and I'm looking back at bits and pieces that I feel like I want to indulge deeper in, to create the person I am, in case I also stay low key a lot of times.
Yeah.
So maybe there were times where I kind of stayed in the shadows during a moment that could have been more predominant.
I gotcha. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I feel like I'm still speaking in code.
It's just like those moments, like, that it was like probably like, I'll use this as an example, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, maybe it's like an album that you just know, like, is just like the album, like it's dope or whatever, but then like you don't really maybe necessarily like push it out or like put yourself out there as much as you probably could have. Am I like kind
in
of
a way,
reaching
like
in the
I
right
feel
direction?
like my last album did extremely well.
Yeah. Or just an opportunity. I use an album as an example, but just an opportunity.
No, and I guess I'm talking about my last album, Shooting Stars and Broken Halos. It did really well, but what I know now, I could have done more with.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
The way the industry is moving, the
Yeah.
way social media and technology is moving.
Yep.
I kind of have a better understanding of like
I
what
get
I
what you're
can
saying.
do and what actually works. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes just a little bit helps.
Yeah.
A lot of times I would ignore something, turn away, and be like, "Oh, that's not really necessary," even though it would have only taken 5 minutes.
Right.
Something like that.
Just like jumping at little opportunities or just like other areas that we kind of just skip over sometimes. And again, like things that you just learn, you're just like, that probably could have worked. That probably would have been good.
Like, for instance, I've had ideas that I thought maybe were corny in the past, but are trending now.
You could have been the trendsetter. Like you could have set it off.
But I was like, nah, that ain't cool.
But I feel like like we're in such an age now, like we have to stop getting so nervous about doing like the oddball, like far left field kind of stuff. Cause like those are the things that like people pick up on because we get so invested in what is so common. And then what happens is the trend is it's just something completely left field. And then everybody hops on that. So it's like we got to stop being afraid. I'll speak for myself too. Being afraid of doing those things and stepping out of our like comfort zone or just like doing something that isn't trending because it could be trending, or it could be just something that just catches somebody's eye because they're so focused on, this block over here, and then you're just kind of staying alone by yourself.
Yeah, because think of some of these mainstream influencers. They're willing to take the risk of losing all their fans by making a post.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
for sure. Yeah,
like sometimes we stretch our limits to a degree that it could like totally harm us. But that kind of innovation is where breakthroughs happen.
Yeah, you just have to be confident.
Dreams are made of.
Right? Sound like Disney over here. When you wish upon a star, all your dreams will come true. But it's true though. We got to step out of our comfort zone. We have to like just kind of embrace the unknown, embrace the fear kind of thing, and just do it, and it'll happen. you know. It's hard though. It's definitely hard because I know I'm an overthinker, and like I'm like, no, it's gonna suck. People are gonna hate it. I'm gonna get like one like, and I shouldn't even be doing it for that either. Like I should just do it because it's just genuinely want to do it, and then just put it up, and whatever happens, happens. But I overthink stuff way too much.
So do I. But and it goes back to kind of finding myself through, especially the new songs that I wrote for Too Close for Comfort, because the theme behind that was dealing with the uncomfortable,
Yeah.
to a point where you feel numb, and you're afraid to face certain situations. You know, the fears, the insecurities, the self-doubt, the lack of self-worth and self-love.
Yeah.
All of that combined. And that's how I felt when I was writing the project.
Yeah.
And one of the songs, the opener, is called The World Hates Me. And it's a song that's against the stigma of mental health. I truly felt like that. I truly felt like the world hated me, even though the very first line that I say before the verse even comes in is, I know I'm loved.
Yeah.
So just so everybody knows, that's why I said it beforehand, because it's like, yeah, I know I'm loved,
Yeah.
but
you still.
I feel, I was trying to accept how I felt, because accepting how I felt makes me feel free.
Right.
And it makes me feel me.
Right.
When I can accept that. So it was like, yeah, I feel like the world hates me, even though I know I'm loved.
Right. It's such a weird feeling.
And when I'm around, tons of people that I know love me, sometimes I feel less than. I feel like invisible. I just want to disappear.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, it's a song that's like against the stigma of mental health. It's for those that are struggling with addiction, and those that choose self-harm. It's just a song about embracing those feelings. Obviously not the self-harm, but acknowledging it.
It's half the battle.
Acknowledging that that's who you are and what you've done. And I actually read something today on Metallica. There's a song coming out. It's not out yet, I don't believe. It's called Screaming Suicide. And they said that the word suicide has become taboo.
Oh, 100%.
People are afraid to use that word.
100%. For
And
sure.
I talk about suicide attempts in the song. I've been very lucky and blessed that I haven't made any suicide attempts, but I've been dangerously close. Like I feel that God has always intervened.
Yeah, facts.
And just reminded me that I'm loved. I've had visions of just using drugs and just ending my life.
Yeah.
And around that time when I wrote the song, I was super depressed. I wanted to die. And I had a vision of just one shot and killing myself.
Just being down. Yeah.
And then I thought about the people that love me and how they would feel. And I knew that I would impact them.
Right.
I knew that they would suffer because of it. So that's selfish of me to do that.
Yeah.
And that same night, a close friend of mine said, I want you to know you're loved. And I said, I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe what you're saying is true.
Right.
But I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
And these were the kinds of emotions that I was working through while writing the song. And it feels great to be able to express myself that way.
Yeah. That's the best stuff, man. Like that, like we say all the time with music, that's like literally our therapy. It's stuff that literally saves our lives in part, apart from, just God kind of intervening and, sending people or situations or just like stopping us from doing what we're doing. Like it's crazy. But it's great to have that music piece to be able to just like kind of let all those feelings out that you're feeling. And I can't even imagine like actually being in that headspace and writing a song about it. Like I speak for myself. Like normally when I start getting into some of those deeper songs, it's like after I've already gone through it, and then like I'm, kind of on the recovery, if you will,
That's
so
how I
like,
usually do it.
so like I can't imagine like literally being in that process and then like, and still, writing about it, like literally firsthand.
And it's funny because the song "Numb," I almost scrapped this project, to be honest, and it's doing pretty well. But there's a song "Numb," and I said to a friend of mine, I don't even know how I feel about this record, this EP. I wasn't getting great feedback. They just said, "Oh, it sounds like too similar to the last one," and I don't know. It's just not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
And I said, I kind of know what you mean because I felt like this whole record was like written in a numb state.
I
So it was
gotcha.
lacking some kind of life, you
Right.
could say.
Yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of it because
Yeah.
that
100%.
like captures this whole other energy that is enticing people that are feeling that same way.
Right.
When you're numb and isolated, which I was when I wrote that song, you don't want to speak to anyone.
No.
You don't
Not
want to
at
tell
all.
anyone how you feel.
No.
You just stay in your room with the lights dim and let time pass by.
Right. And if you have to go out, whether it's like work or anything, it's just like you just show up, do what you got to do, and you're out. Like you don't say much, you don't do much, other than what you have to do for your job or whatever, and then you're out.
And the opening track, "The World Hates Me," that wasn't going to be on there. I added that in later. It was going to be down the road, but that was my freedom song.
Okay.
That was like really breaking through the cycle of feeling so low. And
So it's like the aftermath of it,
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah, so that's why it was necessary, and adding that changed the whole dynamic of the project.
Gotcha. So I'm just curious. I'm just asking from like a musical standpoint. Why have it at the beginning versus maybe the end? I'm just curious. If there was a kind of a reason for it. I'm just curious.
Just because it's fast paced and it, like,
Okay.
I feel like it just
Brought
punches
in
you.
brought it into the okay, I got you. I was just curious, like just the process of it all.
The way I describe the lyrics throughout the song really breaks down. It has like an introduction. It's set. How do I say this? It's structured in a way that it tells a full length story from the beginning to the end. So you get enough content introducing what's to come.
Gotcha. So it's like a good summary and everything that just kind of leads into everything that you're about to hear
Yeah.
post this song.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense. No, I'm just curious. I always like to hear like people's different kind of creative perspectives and, why they do things, especially with music. Like I have my own way, but when you get used to your own way.
No, it's a very great question, and I almost stumbled over it.
Yeah, let's go.
I usually believe that the first and last song can be switched when I listen to a record.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Depending.
I'm thinking about my project now, and I'm like, yeah, I could probably switch them both. Yeah, I could probably do that too. Yeah.
Because I've been in, track listing meetings where I've asked that question: does this go first or last? And I think that's the way my mind works, because a lot of times people give me options of what I like, and when they lay down 4 of them, I'm like, I like the first one, I like the last one.
Yeah, that's it.
So there's something about that I feel that there's a reason why it's been sent over in that format. those two are interchangeable.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm always strategic when it comes to track layout and just making sure everything is like right where it needs to be. I feel like some people are just like, meh.
But at the end of the day, it's tough to say if it matters.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing called shuffle.
That's true. That's very true. Because, like, I mean, the only time that you'll maybe get somebody to listen straight through is like when it just drops, if you're lucky. After that, it's just.
Although there's
Shuffle
rumors and fights that they're trying to get away from the shuffle.
Really?
Which I can see the intent.
I would say if there was a way to do it.
You could just shut it off manually.
Right, that too, right? Just hit the button.
I think the option is definitely beneficial.
I think here's my newly found theory, because I just heard this for the first time. If you were to do something like that, it's just my opinion. So all you people out there that are going to hear this and be like, no, keep the shuffle. Because
All three of you.
Yeah, all three of you sit down, relax. Is if you were to only keep it for like specific album play. Like my brain goes to like if you put a playlist together or something. Like okay, like if you have a playlist, like dude, put that thing on shuffle so you can hear different stuff at different times, whatever. But like if you're going specific to like Vincent Tesoro album, whatever, like listen to that thing straight through so that you get the full essence of what it is actually trying to say.
That was the argument.
Ah. See, I'm already ahead of the game. And I wasn't
That was
even in the meeting.
actually what they settled with.
Oh, is it? Okay. No, I'm
yeah,
I'm in the moment right now. I'm
I
not
may
like
be
trying to
wrong.
act
I may be
like-
wrong, and you can look this up and fact check
That's
it.
wild.
But I'm willing to at least say that I believe it was Adele that had the problem with this.
Really? Why Adele? I wonder why Adele.
And they said that they were planning, if they did, for it to be for albums only.
Which would make sense. Again, like I feel like you just
But somewhere along the line, it must have fell to the wayside because, or fake news. Could be fake news.
right. It could be. Yeah.
Because the headlines made it seem like she passed it, and I went on Spotify and it was.
It's just I could still shuffle
still
and turn it on and off. Sorry. So it would be for all
I
streams.
shuffled their album like 3 times.
Went right through it. Like I am not listening to track 1 first. Next, number 6, please. Thank you. Okay, so they would do it for all streaming and stuff. Or just Spotify, or just
I think it was they were starting with Spotify.
start with Spotify. Okay, to do like a little test run.
But it never happened.
Interesting. That's such like a weird thing. I know it's a good idea, but it's such like a weird thing to like debate about.
And
You know what I'm saying? You get what I mean?
I know somebody. We were listening to my first album. It was like 18 songs. It was too long. And he was giving me critiques, right? And he said, okay, if you're sitting in front of a record label, they're going to give you 10 seconds a piece. So he's skipping my songs. First time listening, too.
Wow.
I just thought we were just going to have, a nice
Just
cruise.
chill.
And he's going to tell me, everything's
like,
good. And he's like,
next.
10 seconds in, skip. I was like, you didn't even let it start. He's like, you should have already started. And I'm a type of person that likes to, slowly come in.
Oh, same.
Build the ambiance.
Yeah, I'd be screwed with record labels. I'd be like, dude, this song's 6 minutes and I start on minute 1, so hang on to your seats because we're going to be here for a while.
And he gets to song 5, and he says, okay, now I'll listen. He skipped the first 4 right off the bat because he didn't hear something within 10 seconds. And we listen, and he gives me his critiques, and he says, I wonder what the perfect order to listen to this album is. And I'm saying, isn't it the order that I picked it? Because I put so much time, like, coordinating it to tell this story.
Yeah.
But then you have special like kaleidoscope. It's on Netflix, right? I haven't
Ah,
watched it.
yeah.
And you can watch these episodes in any order. I think they give you a list by color, I believe. I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
But they give you the season all disarrayed.
Just jumbled up in shuffle.
And yours is different from mine, and so on and
weird.
so forth. And it tells a different story depending on which color you get. I think you're supposed to end with white because that's the heist. I think that's the only one thing you're supposed to do. But
See, I feel like TV shows, that would be weird because it's like, dude, now you just threw me off, like the complete plot of it. Music, okay, maybe, but like TV shows, I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, so maybe I don't know. Maybe they're onto something. Who knows?
I'm intrigued because I have like a psychological state of mind. But when he said that, and then it got me thinking. When I listen to my own music or someone else, I play it randomly depending on how I feel at the time.
That's true.
So and that's exactly why you can't come up with a perfect order. You can come up with an order that makes sense to tell a story.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's all about how you're feeling at that time.
In that moment, they may skip the first 5 songs because they want to get to number 6, because that's the one, the emotions that they're feeling, the place that they're in, that
And then
they want to be in.
3 years from now, the first few songs could be something that really resonates with them.
Yeah, because that happens with me too sometimes. Honestly, like I'll listen to albums, and I'll get through. I'm like, I'll listen to like 1 and 3 and whatever. But then like towards like the back end, I'm like, okay, this is where like I'm like starting to get into it. And then like a year later, I'm like vibing out to the first 5 songs and everything else. It's like, it's just a weird.
Have you ever went back?
It's the emotional.
Have you ever went back to an album and checked out all your skips?
No, I actually haven't.
I do.
I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to check that out now.
Because it's like, at that time, I love this album, but at that time, I always skip this song.
Yeah.
And I go back and I'm like, and maybe just because it's fresh and you have a deeper understanding of what creativity went into that album and what it means to you.
Yeah.
But it always seems like it's the best song.
Right. Yeah.
Any deluxe type of album that has bonus tracks.
Yeah.
Like Blink-182 California. I didn't really give their second album much of a chance. I went back. I love the whole album.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand it. It's like it has to be the emotion that you're in that moment, like when you first listen to it.
In their case, the way they promoted it was very strange. Like they released lyric videos on YouTube every day. They put like 8 out in a row.
Interesting.
So it just...
Excuse me.
It was just kind of unnatural.
Yeah.
And they were very different than what you were used to.
Right.
And you were getting bombarded with it in a way that you didn't have time to really like soak it in.
Gotcha.
So you were already going to listen to the next one, but you never digested the first.
I see what you're saying. So then when you finally eventually go back, you're like, this is different.
Yeah, and then you have a chance to, once they put it on CD, then you had a chance to like listen to it at your leisure.
Right.
I noticed once I listened to an album 3 or 4 times all the way through, that's when I make a decision. Which is so funny because I listened to an album 3 or 4 times and I'm like, I must love this album.
If I've listened to it 4 or 5 times. Yeah.
And I'm still sitting here trying to critique it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that too. It's so bad.
I think it's obvious.
Yeah. That
because why would I just sit there and torture myself?
Right. Dude, what's crazy is I don't think I've listened to a full new album. Like, I'm not even kidding. Maybe 2 years. Like sought out a full album and listened all the way through. Like 2 years. Which is crazy. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why. I just don't have, and like, not to say like I'm not listening to like your music or like, obviously like, everybody like MOCG, friends, local people and stuff. Not to say that I don't listen to the music. I don't know. I'm not, unless, you're like, hey, I have an album coming. Like, I'm not going out and like seeking new music. And it's like weird to me.
It's understandable.
It's weird to me though, because I'm such like a music head. Like I love looking for new albums, and I haven't been.
Well,
And I don't know. It's just weird to me.
I like to think that priorities and responsibilities play a major factor
Yeah,
into it, because when I was younger, I had all the time in the world.
that's true.
I could spend hours and hours and hours.
That's true.
You don't have that kind of time anymore.
It's like your commute to work.
Yeah.
It's like my music listening time or going to the gym.
And if it doesn't fit the emotion that you desire at that time,
Yeah, that makes sense.
we're very limited nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. And like I tell people too, like if somebody sends me like a feature or whatever, hey, I want you to be a feature on the song. And I always tell them, all right, like, I'll let you know. And then like days may go by. And then they'll be like, hey, like, what's going on with the song, whatever, what'd you think, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, honestly, like, I haven't had the time to give it the attention that it deserves. Like, I want to be able to sit down and just like nothing else. Like, I want to make sure that I give it the attention that it deserves so that I can make the right judgment, right, whatever, if I like it, and move forward from there. So like I feel like that's where kind of I'm at too. Like when I want to listen to a new album, I want to make sure that like my attention is directed towards it and not just like I'm listening to the new album but I'm at work and like I'm trying to do two things at once. Cuz I feel like I'm not going to critique it or receive it in the right way because I'm doing something else at the same time.
Yeah, and we're multitasking all the time.
All the time. I hate it. It sucks. It sucks. It drives me crazy. I hate that, like, as you get older, you just, like, get forced into having to do that, especially when you have multi-layered career paths, if you will.
When I was working overnights, a lot of albums came out during that time, like 2018.
Yeah.
Every album I listened to, it would come out. I'd listen to it as soon as I got out of work, 7 in the morning. Zombie.
Yep, sounds about right.
Hated every one.
Yeah.
A couple years later, I pull it back up. I'm like, looking for something old, new, a mix. Something I never really gave a chance. I'll pull it back up. I'm like, oh, this is actually a great record. And I realized that where I was in that mindset of being so overly tired. And because when you stay up all night long, your mind's not working right. You don't have the nutrients to your body.
Nah, I just did that last Friday. It sucked.
Yeah, and you're known to be more negative.
100%.
100%. So I just remember I was like saying to someone, I was like, this album is trash, and came back. I got some rest and played it again, and I was like, no, it's really good. I shouldn't listen to albums after working overnights. Yeah. Period.
Be the worst critique. That'd be a cool like podcast though. Just like zombie. No, damn. I had the name and then I lost it. Like zombie critique or something, or zombie album review or something, where you just like stay up all night and then try to review an album in like the worst mood possible and just see what happens, see what comes out. I don't know. I'm weird. I think of dumb stuff. Whatever.
It's creative.
Whatever. I'm tired, so you're going to hear the dumb stuff coming out now. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I had to do an overnight Friday night. I went into work 5 p.m. I didn't leave till 8 in the morning the next day. No sleep. Then slept for like an hour and then came here because I had to do a studio session for a client. Yeah, I was not in the best mood at all. Stuff started going wrong downstairs, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna go home at this point. Luckily, it was just the XLR cable, but it was something so simple. But I was so pissed off that I was like, I can't figure this out. I
Yeah,
literally
you
checked
get
everything.
frustrated, impatient.
Dude, I checked everything. I checked the sound. I checked everything. I checked all the plugs. I checked everything was on. I'm perfect. Nothing was out of place. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, this is insane. I'm like stressed out. My client's like sitting there, like nothing's working. I'm like, I don't know what to do, dude. I have no clue. So then I called Mike. We kind of like messed around or whatever, and then just swapped the XLR cable. That's all it was. I'm like, that's all it was the whole time. I'm thinking it's like my computer, like it's not updated. It's, some crazy supernatural technological issue. And no, just an XLR cable.
You would have caught that though if you got some rest.
Probably. Probably. I'm like, oh, you're so. I told the client too. I was like, it is probably the most simplest thing that I could think of, and I can't think of it. And yeah, well, XLR cable. I'm like, perfect, awesome. But such is when you get zero sleep. So, what are you gonna do? Well, I am really sorry that you had to go through all that stuff, but I'm glad that something positive came out of that, and something that you can share with other people who are going through something like that. I've definitely been in that mind state too. It's not fun, but again, that was my first thing. Was I always resorted to music. Anytime I was in like one of those weird funks or whatever, sad, depressed, upset, happy, whatever, like music was my go-to. Like that was the first place I was going. Wasn't anywhere else. I was either going to cry my way out of it, listening to some, R&B. My girlfriend just broke up with me. I'm going to listen to R&B for the next 5 days and hopefully cry it out and get through it. Or I'm pissed off and I'm listening to rock music and, getting through it that way, whatever, man. But it's just what we got to do. That's how I cope with it. I don't know about anybody else, but.
Yeah, it's therapeutic.
Yeah, but I'm glad you were able to have that outlet, again, along with people, along with God, to be able to kind of help you through that process. And, glad you're here,
Yeah, there's a lot of coping skills that go into, surviving through my day. Making music, listening to music, writing, journaling, meditating, exercise. Speaking to someone,
Yeah.
Getting it off my chest helps a lot. Sometimes I realize that my mind is just so cluttered with things that need to get finished.
Yeah, that's how I feel lately.
Bouncing it off somebody else is helpful, just to move one piece back in place can really help a lot.
Yeah.
The one thing that can get fixed right now could relieve a lot of stress.
Yeah. It could just be that piece that just helps to keep everything upright until you can kind of square everything off and get it done or whatever it is. I feel you. It's tough, man. It's tough.
It's working with what you can control and letting
That's
go
facts.
of the rest. Someone said to me, if you're worried about something if you can't control something, it shouldn't be on your mind.
Yeah, that's facts. That's 100%.
Because I think we worry a lot about things that we can't control.
Yeah, and it stresses us out because we don't know it's the unknown. It's not knowing how it's going to work out because we literally have no control over it. So then we just freak out and
if you
stress
focus on
ourselves
the
out
things
for
you
nothing.
can control, and then you'll move forward into the things that you can't.
Yeah.
By then, it'll be in your control.
Right. But we're just, as human beings, we are very impatient and we just need to have that control. We need to have the answer. We need to have everything in our time. And it doesn't work that way.
It's human nature. We we want more,
Mm-hmm.
and we want instant gratification.
Facts.
But
It's bad. We gotta be more patient. It'll work out. Trust me, it'll work out. It'll work
even
out.
when I have achievements, I just like put them to the side. I'm like, all right, how can we double it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when I won that contest. I always tell this story because you were the one that texted me, and I was like, dude, like I forgot that they were even announcing it.
Yeah,
And
because he
then
pushed it back like 3 times.
I was like,
I didn't think
come
they were
on.
even going to announce it.
Yeah, I was like, all right,
I thought
whatever.
he was just gonna be like, well, we're closing into the next year.
Yeah,
So we're just gonna start the next one.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, man, whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then he was like, all right, we're gonna announce it tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. And then tomorrow came, and I was just completely forgot until you texted me and was like, hey, dude, you want it? I thought you were like punking me. I was like, dude, no way. But long story less long, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I won. It's great, but let's, and it came at speaking on right time of everything. Like, it came at the right time for me because I was ready to just tap out on music. Like, I was like pretty much like finish this album, finish our stuff, and then like be done. Like, that's it for me. Like, I'm cool. And then winning that, I was like, all right, this just kind of gives me a little affirmation of like, all right, like let's keep pushing. Because again, I got the exclusives, and I was like, okay, I can make an album out of this. So that, to me, I don't believe in just coincidences. I believe that was placed there, so that I could keep going and do a part 2 of what I am now doing. So, but winning that, I was just like, all right, cool, like this is great. This feels pretty good. But like, all right, like what's next? Like, let's keep going. Let's not just like, I'll ride the win, but we got to keep moving. You can't just like sit on it and be like, okay, like, how long can I sit on this win? Like, no, like you got to keep moving. You got to keep going forward.
Yeah, you gotta capitalize on it.
Yeah, 100%. So I was like, I also just didn't want to let my pride get too high and be like, yeah, first place in a Domini. Yeah. Bow down and worship me. Like, no, I did not want to go. Not that I ever would. That's never been my MO. I don't like attention. Anyways, especially like when it comes to recognition, at least like on a face-to-face personal level, like, if you just announce it, whatever, that's cool. But, I'm just like, all right, moving on.
Then again, I think a lot of people make mistakes when they try to capitalize on a win.
Yeah. They just do it the wrong way.
Rushed.
Yeah. Yeah, because they panic and like, oh, win. All right, got to do this, got to do that. And it's like, but there's there's ways you can do it right and not kill yourself, in theory, in doing it. So, yeah, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. And, hopefully on to next year. Sorry, it looked like somebody was looking inside the door. I'm like, you could see like shadowy figures. Hey, if y'all want to be on the podcast, come on over. Right Mind Wednesdays podcast, 7:30 every Wednesday. Appreciate you. Yeah, man, this has been super dope. Is there anything else that you want to share? Anything that is upcoming for you that you want to share with anybody? Whether it's, I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, any music that you got coming out, any shows or, what have you. And then how can people kind of connect with you, to get to know you a little bit more, hear more of your story, check out your music, all that fun stuff. What you got? Keep hitting this damn thing.
I'm at the point where I don't want to limit myself.
Yeah.
I'm really believing and hoping that I'm going to walk into a transformation in my life and in this career. So what I know of what God is capable of, I know that my plans could be pushed to the side. I could plan all I want strategically.
Yep.
And he may have other plans for
Facts.
me.
Facts.
I have a couple small shows locally.
Okay.
In my neck of the woods, Middleborough on Friday, and Plymouth next month in February.
Dope.
Like I said, I got like probably 5 EPs coming out this year.
We got music coming.
and I'm sure there'll be more bookings for shows and whatever comes from that. I'm working with some artists internationally
Dope.
and some more musicians. Something I would love to do, and I'm asking you guys, I would love to start a band.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to get together, if you're a talented musician, you want to work together, hit me up. And that's Vincent Tesoro on all platforms. Vincent_Tesoro on Instagram and TikTok. But that's a major goal. I like to
That'd
do
be sick.
this more authentically.
I could see that for sure.
And
Just knowing the style of music that you do, I know that a band would just up here
yeah,
for sure. So super dope, man. I'm excited. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on here, coming all the way out here, taking your time to be on the pod, man. Appreciate you.
of course. MOCG, man.
You already know. Well, I want to thank everybody one last time for tuning in. We appreciate you so much. One last time, I just want to say God bless. Appreciate everybody. But until next time, my name is Jay Faith. This is Vincent Tesoro, and this is the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast. We'll catch y'all next time. What's up?